This is video 123. This is the end of the battle that we were watching before. These are the forces that were holding the middle of the field, just camels and some infantry, I think they're perhaps burgher infantry. You can see some dead camels there in the foreground. That'll be from the howitzers, I would imagine. I've mounted the howitzer now, as you can see, lit there in the bottom right. I do that to make sure that he doesn't continue firing. There's been an upgrade recently to stop the cannons firing when you don't want them to fire, but I'm afraid I still don't trust it. So I just limber them up. Okay, these are the infantry. What did it say? Burgher infantry? I'm not sure there, but we're chasing them off with the light cavalry for two reasons. One is that we don't want them to reappear on the battle map. Secondly, that we want our light cavalry to gain some experience. I think I said if you kill 70, they get a chevron. They've got a chevron on there already. I think they have to kill more than 70 for the second chevron. I don't know how many it is. It's quite a lot. Somebody did work it out once, There is a site that you can go to that tells you all the stats that you need, to go from chevron to chevron. I've still got that bookmarked if anybody wants that. Come up with some other interesting facts as well. Anyway, poor blighters haven't got much of a chance, have they really? I was hoping to show you us chasing down the camels as well, but unfortunately, looking at the big map down at the bottom, it looks like they might have all gone, might have all been wiped out. There's always one, isn't there? You know how ships will surrender? Maybe that's what should happen with these chaps as well. I think I'd certainly be keen on putting my hand up here, because you're going to die anyway, don't you? Your only chance of survival is surrender, really. Anyway, decisive victory, very pleased with that, thank you very much. Everybody's still intact, pretty good stats there in terms of performance. So now the road is open to Karnataka from Mysore, so we've got coast to coast in India. We should now be able to move the troops across that we wanted in order to strengthen Karnataka. I want the roughly even forces in both, give a couple of light cavalry to each side as well, so that we've got something that we can chase the enemy away with should he decide to attack us. I really don't know how strong he is. I'm looking up there and I see all these different flags flying, and I can see, next to each flag the numbers of units that are in there, and some of them have small amounts in and some of them have more. I don't know what he's got further to the north, where the fog of war is, just beyond what I can see. I'm going to now see if I can play around with the taxes, because I've now got more troops in Karnataka. I raised a couple of dragoons in there as well. I think you probably saw that at the turn end. Or rather, I've arranged to recruit them. They will be at the next turn end. I arranged to recruit them much earlier in this turn, didn't I? To be honest, I'd forgotten about this army in India. I'd gone all the way over. I was about to end term when I was in America, and then suddenly realised, hang on, there's something I need to do. There you go, playing around with the taxation levels. We should be able to bring Karnataka into the taxation system. Relieve the burden a bit on Mysore and Ceylon. You see the grey area there? That's Karnataka. That's because it's greyed out like that when it's when it's not paying tax. Green means it's perfectly happy. Just bung another dragoon in there to see if it'll straighten it out a bit more, see if it'll improve it. We don't need to improve it by much, do we? Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to get it down enough by putting dragoons in. Basically, you lose one of those minuses every time you put a dragoon in. But I think it was on -4 there, wasn't it? And I don't think I can spare that many dragoons from Mysore. I know Karnataka's raising its own anyway, so. Not too bothered about that fleet that's in that Karnataka port on the western side of India. It's only a single ship, probably a brig. And that's the end of the turn. we're now going through to the summer of 1733, which is a third of the way through the game. I think we have about 3 objectives left to take. I think we have New York, Hindustan, Goa, and perhaps one other. So we're pretty close to achieving all the targets now, and over the last few moves things have gone a lot easier for me. You know, instead of being at war with absolutely everybody in Europe that's trying to wipe me out instantly in Amsterdam, I seem to have peace with a lot of people, good trade all over the place, and we're taking some high earning cities as well, so things seem to be working out at the moment. I have to touch some wood somewhere now, aren't I? There you go. I don't know where his massive fleets have gone. I'm still keeping, as I showed you before, that large fleet of fairly low class vehicles, goodness me, vessels in the Americas there, who are blockading the coast just to make sure that no ships can get through there with a large army on it. Last thing I want to do is suddenly lose Dutch Guiana or French Guiana and then have to build up forces there to fight him again. Mind you, that would be a bit easier now we've got peace with Spain. We're not too worried about those large fleets going around causing us concern. Looks like he's bringing another army down, having raided on his way. I don't know if that's bigger or the same as the last one. We won't have recovered, of course, from the last attack. I don't remember actually even trying to recover them. I don't think I took enough casualties to even warrant, you know, trying to replenish the troops there in Mysore. I might have done. Anyway, the usual check through, you know, make sure that we're still stealing the research over in the Americas. The trade route blockages, there's very little I can do about those. I can't spare fleets to go around unblocking trade routes, I'm afraid. It can happen anywhere. That's that blockade I was telling you about that's still there. Seems like a waste, but you know, I could lose the trade route from the Americas if, say, Dutch Guiana goes, or is it French Guiana? It's one of those anyway. I'd probably lose both. They've got 1 infantry unit in each of them and they're poor quality. So an army of, say, as little as 5 landed on there would be enough to take both the Dutch and the French Guiana away from it, and they're both objectives in the game as well. So those fleets are doing a worthwhile job at the moment, I'm afraid. Well, I should say I'm happy to say. Just checking the taxation in Europe. We're able to drop it a little now, which is good news for us, because it means that the villages can grow. If you tax the lower population too highly, then what will happen is you get no growth at all in population, and you can't then expand villages, grow ports, etc. You know, and I don't know, various industries and things which are going to give you income as well. So anyhow, here's the dilemma. I don't need to move troops across India anymore, but I now have a large army, well, a decent sized army anyway, in the middle of India. Need to look at my own troops. I can't remember if I replenish them or not. The other thing I'd like to do is use my fleet, you know, pop out that ship that he's got in there, and then use my fleet to destroy it and gain a bit of prize money as well, which would be rather nice. It wouldn't matter if I had my fleet up there. It's a fairly decent position for it to be in. But the dilemma now is what to do with that army there. They're not brilliant troops, they're alright, they're not brilliant. No, I didn't ask my troops to be replenished last time after the last battle, so we have taken some casualties as well. I wouldn't use the dragoons probably if I went out there to fight him. Be probably 15 against 15. Those mortars are horrible things. They're pretty inaccurate, but against a large army they can pound you with some pretty horrible shot, really. I don't know what sort of sophisticated shot that he's got, but you know, if he's hitting canister shells at me, it won't be very nice at all. Or throwing them at me, I should say. So he could stand off. He's likely to go charging in with the cavalry, though. That would be good for me. I would then easily defeat his army. Anyway, a bit of a quandary there. That's one that I need to think about for the next video, I think. Do I pop out the fleet? Do I attack the army?